Alright guys, this is my 01 yz250f. I just got done replacing all the top end gaskets and seals, including head gasket, base gasket, valve cover gasket, all the little seals. And then I did stator cover seal, and then the clutch cover seal, water pump seal, oil pump seal, or oil filter seal. Because when I bought it, it was leaking out of everywhere. Right here, where the base gasket is, was just spitting out oil. And whoever put the gasket on when they rebuilt it, they pinched the gasket, so it actually sucked the gasket into the water jacket inside the cylinder and head, and so coolant wasn't flowing through there, and it was overheating. When I was in there, I checked the valves. Valves are perfect. Compression is really good. And right now I just have the motor sitting in there with this bolt. It's the only bolt holding it on. So I'm just gonna go through the process, putting all this stuff on. Gotta put the oil lines on, and then the carburetor, gas tank. I'm probably not gonna put everything on, just in case I gotta go back in there if I mess something up. Hopefully not, but it's not gonna hurt anything to have one or two mounts missing. So I'm checking the valves. The valves are good. The cylinder is good. The piston looks brand new, but the gasket that goes here and the seals and stuff, where is it? They go right there. Look at that crap. There's that gasket's all blown out, and it's missing parts of the gasket. So that was definitely leaking, which it was. And then the head gasket, the film on it, just tore apart. And I'm not gonna flip it over. Well, actually, here, it's right here. There's water, if you can see, in the cylinder. So it was burning coolant because the head gasket wasn't sealing off, and you can just tell how dirty that surface is. So that's definitely why it had water in the oil. Alright, just to show you guys, I threw away the base gasket already because it was in multiple pieces and breaking apart, but this is the head gasket. And I didn't say this before, but it was like the oil, when I drained it, it was milky. So at first I thought it was the water pump seals. And if you don't know this, but on this 01 yz250f, they actually have a port that coolant flows through right inside the clutch side case cover. And if that seal is bad or the gasket's bad, then water will leak through there into your oil. So I placed that seal and gasket, and then it kept mixing oil. So I thought, I guess, the head gasket, and I think I was right. This was super dirty. That film's breaking off. So yeah, that's the head gasket. I just got a cheap eBay gasket kit. And yeah. And also, before you say, oh, we didn't clean off the gasket surfaces, yep, used my right angle grinder, Scotch-Brite pad, cleaned up all the surfaces that I'm putting back together. They look brand new. Alright, so first, come down here. This is the, right here, neutral safety switch. What it does pretty much is, well, I'm not sure if it's actually a neutral safety switch. I believe that's what it's called, but what it does is it changes the idle and the limiter, the rev limiter, when it's in neutral. I'm not 100% sure what it is. I just did a little bit of research, so I could be wrong on this, but it just goes right in there, and two Phillips head hold it on. So I'm gonna get that on. All right, so neutral switch is in. Now I'm going to put the clutch on. There's a little bolt, left it in there. We line up that hole with that little pin. Well, before you do that, you gotta get the cable in. It goes in right there. I can't do it on the camera because you need 2 hands, but I'll show you all after I get it on. All right, so got that clutch in, the actuator bracket, and I was just looking and I realized I pinched this gasket when I put it on. So gotta pull these 2 Allen out and fix that. Okay, so as you can see, got that seal fixed, and now I'm just gonna use, couldn't find the right Allen bit, so you know, Torx it is. I'm gonna snug those down real quick. Okay guys, it's the next day, but now that I got that on, I need to put the oil lines on, and since there was a leak, they were real crusty, so I'm gonna wash them off in some Purple Power degreaser, and just gonna take a brush off all that oil, and then spray some brake cleaner down in them to get the water out. All right, so I know this is probably frowned upon in the dirt bike community, but I'm gonna be spray painting some Rust Oleum. I'm not painting anything crazy. I'm painting the whole frame, just this piece. It was red for some reason. I don't know who did that, but I know that black's gonna look a lot better. I did 2 coats of black and then 2 coats of clear coat, so it should stay good and look good. And I also did these caps because they didn't look the best. And these oil pipes, I got them taped off. I'm just gonna put a little bit of paint on this, and it should look a little better. Okay, so over here, letting this soak in the degreaser. This is the other oil pipe or line. While I'm waiting for that to soak and the other one to dry. Put these caps on. It don't look too bad. I think it looks better. I mean, obviously it's not a big change, but just some little things. Okay, we got the first coat on the oil lines, and while we're waiting for that to dry, we can come over here and put the decompression on. So it's this right here. If I can get it out. Right there. There's not much light, but this same concept as the clutch. There's a bracket, and then cable goes in there, and yeah, it's pretty simple. Okay, so got the decompression in, and I just pulled it, and you can kick it through. So that works. Now I'm gonna put it in that motor mount right there for the startup, and then if it runs good, then I'll put in these brackets and mounts, and then hook up the cooling system. I'll fill it up, make sure there's no leaks, and then all I'll have to do is put the carburetor and the pipe on, and we should be good to start it. So yeah. Oh, also forgot to say, need to put the oil lines on. It's probably the most important part. Don't want to forget that. Okay, so we got all the cooling system lines on. We got coolant in there. I spun the motor over a few times, got it all bled through, all the air out. It doesn't have, that's all that on the ground is from me spilling it, but it doesn't have any leaks so far, which is good. But I mean, there could be an internal leak we don't know about, so we won't know till the motor's running. But this is the pipe I painted, oil delivery pipe. It don't look bad, but this one goes up right in there. So we'll get that on real quick, and then I'll show you all. All right, so I got coolant in it. I already showed you that. I got oil in it. It doesn't have any visible leaks yet. I've had the oil in for about 5 minutes. But I mean, obviously, again, we'll have to wait till we start it up, see if it mixes, but hope it doesn't. But I'm gonna move the bike over there because we got some leaks from when I spilled stuff. So we're gonna move it over, and then if it leaks, then we'll be able to tell. Okay, y'all, it's the next day. There's no leaks. That leak was already previous, but nothing down there. Over here, check the coolant. Still got coolant filled to the top. And then, next step, I'm gonna put the carburetor on. But before we do that, my work area is a mess. So we are going to clean up everything because we gotta do some work on the carburetor. So I'm just gonna set all this stuff in here. And then you don't wanna be working on your carburetor with junk everywhere. So get all that cleaned up and then get the tools back where they go and show you guys then. Okay, so I just have the carb sitting out, but that's the work area now. Everything's all cleaned up, so now it should be easier to work. So I had to switch out the rotating assembly on this carburetor because it was the wrong one and the throttle position sensor wasn't reaching it, so it wasn't even doing anything. So this one will work with this. So I'm gonna get that together, and then once it's done, I'm gonna put the carb on and then the pipe, and then we'll start it up. Okay, carbs in, bolted up. Now all we gotta do is the pipe. So let's get that done real quick. It's right here. Just gotta bolt that on.